Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey everyone, thanks for hopping on. Thank you for taking time out of your day, your morning or evening to come learn. I know some of you guys are somewhere, are different parts of the world. Some of you guys are coming from Japan, some from Ireland, some from New York, some from California like me. And I'm just going to give you guys a couple moments for you guys to join. And those of you who are watching the replay, you guys can skip on to the next 5 or 10 minutes when the actual training goes live, or not the actual training, when when I start actually going into the content. Right now, I'm just letting people come in and get settled in while I wait for more people to hop on. I think I just repeated myself there a million times. I'm going to drink water for a quick second. Too much water. So quick heads up, I'm going to be doing a bit of a bit of a juggling act. I'm going to be doing 2 chat boxes, one through Google Hangouts because I have some YouTube subscribers who are hopping onto the Google Hangouts there and asking some questions, and another chat box where people are subscribed to the actual private How to Breakdance for Beginners mailing list, and they have their own separate private training there, and I'm going to be trying to answer questions there as well. So those who are on the official those who want to hop onto the official broadcast site, main reason to do this is because I don't want anyone to feel like they're being left behind. So those who want to hop into the official site, this is where you guys want to go. And if you have friends who are shy and would like to learn how to dance or break dance and would like to help build their dance for confidence, share this link. Okay, amaroy.com/live. I'll quickly type it in the chat box real quick. amaroy.com/ Whoops, wrong box on my end. Cool. Okay, so let's get right into it. I'm starting to see some familiar faces. Write in your name and where you're from, so I can see so I can give you guys a shout out. So that way I can give you proper acknowledgments for one, staying up this late if you're staying late, or just being here in general. Okay, so Adam from New York, thanks for hopping on. Ronnie from Japan, hey bro, how you doing, man? Let's see who else. Come up more shout outs. Kimmy from Torrance, California. Hey, I teach there. Maybe we should try coming to the actual class sometime. Aaron from is that El Paso? I think I read that right. Yeah, Aaron from El Paso, Texas. Hey, have it. Thanks for hopping on. Appreciate you guys being here. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more time before I actually get started with the training. I'm gonna take another sip of water. Been a crazy day so far. Earlier training, the slides didn't work out, so I'm doing this encore training to make up for that, because there was a technical issue on my end, and I want to make sure that you guys are getting the training that I promised I would deliver you guys. Okay, so if you're ready to go, let's get right into it. Welcome to Zero to B-Boy Hero, the beginner's guide to breakdancing. You are in the right place if you are afraid to dance in public, feel like you're too shy to dance, think you have no rhythm, are tired of being a wallflower. I used to be one of those. You're just watching everyone else have all the fun and feeling like you're missing out. Or if you feel like you have white boy / white girl moves. And I understand why a lot of people would have these sort of fears, because when it comes to putting yourself out there, it's a little scary, because you don't want to put yourself out there and go full out and end up falling on your face and making an ass out of yourself. That's the last thing anyone wants to do. It's like dancing, almost like public speaking. A lot of people are afraid to do it because it involves a level of vulnerability to break through that sort of image of trying to protect ourselves from looking foolish, because dance, essentially you have to break through that block that holds you back from expressing yourself, so to speak. Okay, so I'm about to go into a tangent. I'm gonna try to stay on track here because I have a very limited amount of time before I gotta head somewhere else. So here's what we're gonna be covering: my story and how I got to where I am now. 6 moves that you can show off to your friends, and a routine that shows you how to put it all together. 5 fundamental elements for beginning b-boys and b-girls. This bumps up to 7 the more experience that you have. 9 tips on how you can improve faster than any newbie. Success stories from students who've applied the same process that I've taught them. A bonus lesson on how to craft a freestyle using any YouTube video. And a quick overview of my course for those of you who want to continue working with me after this training. Okay, so quick disclaimer, I'm not going to be doing any live demos. I tried it a couple webinars ago. My webinar software crashed instead, and that the whole training just went downhill from there. So it's something we're still improving. Okay, so instead I'm going to be giving you guys links to the moves that you're going to learn. This way it saves a lot of time and energy because on my end, because I tend to explain each move in like super detail, and I want to make sure I keep this within an hour. And plus you'll have something to refer back to. Okay, so first things first, make sure you close all your windows, your tabs, put your cell phones on vibrate, and I suggest take notes in order to really get the value out of today's class. And by the end of it, I hope, okay, my intention or challenge for you guys is to apply one thing you've learned to whether it's building your dance for confidence or learning how to break dance. Okay. So a little bit about me. Okay, I started dancing, learning how to break dance specifically back in 2005. This is me, highlights, braces, nerdy glasses, and all, and pretty much practicing on cardboard in my friend's backyard. I've been b-boying for over 10 years, teaching for over 6. Okay, I'm a 2-time Alhambra b-boy champion, back to back, and I've had the opportunity of competing at Hip Hop International, performing with crews such as Culture Shock LA, Mixed Elements, Hit the Floor Productions, been on Good Day LA and Univision, work with some legendary b-boys such as B-Boy Crumbs and Machine, and international artist John Lynn Veray. So had the opportunity of working with all types of people, background, and crews. And when I first started, I had to learn everything on my own in a sense. There was no YouTube tutorials, there were no online courses. They weren't exactly blowing up when I started. I had to go to workshops, I had to go to classes, I had to go to jams, and if I didn't have money or the time to go, I would just learn from whatever I could from friends and other people. So it was a little bit more, not as old school as some of the OGs that I've talked to, but it wasn't as easy as some of as how some dancers can do today. They can just look up a tutorial and learn how to windmill versus me having to go to the next city over to learn from another high schooler. Okay, so but before all that, I started dancing at the age 8, but I quit when I was called a faggot in the 6th grade, when confidence was shattered. Imagine you being 9 or 10 years old and being called a faggot. This was an era where dancing for guys was not cool, and for me it was emotionally damaging. Some of us may be experiencing that right now with other things we care about, other things we love. And I went through a lot of years of self-doubt and a lot of years of thinking dancing was stupid, but in reality, I was just afraid of being judged again. And some of us may be sharing that. We're just afraid to look wrong, afraid to look stupid, afraid to be judged, afraid in general of not fitting this mold or idea of what we're supposed to be, or we're afraid to ruffle some feathers or just really put ourselves out there. Okay, this is what holds us back from the fun. And I picked things back up in my 2nd year of high school when all my friends joined the dance team and I felt left out and I had no one else to hang out with in school. From there, dance began to build up my confidence again, which led me to no longer being afraid to dance in public and speak in public. And it's what led me to learning how to break dance and creating my own team called Family Business. This is the last video I did with them back in Hip Hop International before I decided to do a quick retirement. Not quick, but I'm still retired. A retirement so I can focus on being more of a dad and doing some other projects as well. Okay, so I understand where you're coming from. I went from loving it to hating it, being afraid of the dance floor to loving the dance floor, being And it took me years to regain that confidence. And when I started teaching, I wanted to save my students from going through all these years, months, weeks of having to build their confidence and build their skill set. So I developed this process for them to get better way faster than I ever could. So some of the common resistances I hear is I'm too old or young and I'll break something. It's a joke, but it's like it gets old. I don't have rhythm. It looks hard. I'm not strong enough. I don't have any coordination. I don't want to look like a fool. So essentially everything that makes them uh, makes them feel uncomfortable. Anything that could possibly put them under scrutiny or make them look less cooler than they actually are. So these are common. This is common resistances. And what I'm going to tell you is when you're first starting to learn this, it's okay to be terrible at it. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how we get better. Okay, and eventually you'll break through these things. What I'm going to be teaching you guys is it's not an instant way of building your confidence, but it's a process where you can progressively get better. Okay, and I'm using breakdancing as a vehicle to get there. Okay, so like I said, not like I said, but time and again, I've had students of all ages, sizes, and backgrounds become successful b-boys, b-girls, and just dancers in general, for whether it's for a one-time thing or for fitness and confidence. And these three people here are just a couple of the stories I'm going to be sharing with you today. Leonard was a photographer who uses breakdancing for fitness. Peyton, who used it to nail an audition. My fiance, who used it to train for a battle. Okay, so I'll get into more into detail a little later in this training. Right now, let's get into the 5 fundamental elements of for beginner b-boys and b-girls. Okay, I'm gonna be showing you guys the moves, but this is gonna give you some context so you have a better understanding of how everything flows. Okay, the 5 foundational elements eventually becomes more advanced and goes into 7 the more advanced you become. But for now, excuse me, we'll start off with the 5, which is first is top rocks, where you are dancing on the top two, just dancing on your feet, and you're not using any strength yet. You're just dancing and grooving. This is pretty much like the introduction to your dance. Transitions or go downs, which is your transitions going from your top rocks, going down into your footwork, which is the most unique thing about this dance. I don't know any other dance that's on the floor as much as we are. Let me know if you do. There are. But this is, as far as I know, b-boying, breakdancing is on the floor way longer than any other dance I know. Then there's freezes. Freezes technically means a quick pause in the dance. Doesn't necessarily have to be a headstand or a handstand. It's just a quick pause in the music, and then you keep going. Okay, and of course, power moves, which is what really put breaking on the map through head spins, windmills, and the thing with power moves, it takes a while to learn. You could find yourself practicing probably one or the same move for a good month or 2 months until you finally get it down. So considering how long that takes, we're only going to be focusing on these 4 elements today. So just cover some of the basic vocab: top rocks, transitions or go downs, footwork, and freeze. If you guys want to write that in terms of quick notes real quick, I'll do a quick second while I'll let you guys do that for a quick second while I take another sip. My throat's really dry right now. I don't know why. Okay, so moving on. Oh, sorry, power moves, athletic, windmills, head spins. So your first 6 moves, this is a typo, 6 moves should you choose to accept. Okay, first off is the kick and twist. Okay, so everything I'm sharing with you guys here is the most commonly used dance moves that you're going to see a lot of breakers do. So the difference is that a lot of them have their own variation of how they do it. Okay, that's where you start pushing it to more intermediate and advanced kind of stuff. And you notice top rock isn't just a one move. It's more of an umbrella term that leads you to a whole bunch of moves that are under it. So this is a salsa rock. Let me scroll to the part where you learn it. So this is what it looks like. Boom. This is one of the common moves that are used, but again, people vary it up in the way how they do it, which makes it more unique to their style. So next up is the W. That's going to be your transition. Okay, and a lot of these these moves, I explain super slow at first, and then we speed it up to actual tempo that I want you guys to reach to. And I'm not expecting you guys to be able to dance at full tempo when learning these moves. So this transition is supposed to be footwork. Your footwork move is CCs. I don't expect you guys to be perfect at all this at first. I'm not expecting you guys to be dancing on beat immediately. I am expecting you guys to, like, my intention for you guys is to put the effort so you guys can look good doing the moves. Last thing I want you guys to do is look sloppy in the process. So the CCs, boom, this is me showing you guys how to do it in more of a medium tempo. Okay, so then here, breaking it down to a slower tempo, breaking down how your feet should be angled, where you should be stepping. So I like to be super detailed when I'm explaining my moves. So which is why I'm giving you guys a link to videos instead. Okay, so this is a 6-step, which is pretty much the mother of all foundation moves. So the beauty of it is it's going to help strengthen your legs, your abs, your shoulders, while also getting your body used to the amount of weight shifting you're going to be doing when you're breaking. So huge plus if you want to even add this as part of your workout. I strongly recommend that because of the amount of weight shifting and how much your body's involved in it. Next up is your pilot freeze. Okay. Let's see. Where are you at? So the pilot freeze I view is also like one of the gateway moves that lead to many other moves. So this position right here, basic pilot freeze or stab freeze, okay, it's going to lead you to much more advanced freezes such as the baby freeze, side freeze, windmills, and so much more. This simple freeze alone can leads you to a million others. Okay, so that's your basic pilot freeze and your routine showing you guys how to put it all together. I know this is a lot of stuff right now, but I'm going to explain to you guys how to approach it in just a second. Okay, so now that you guys have some awesome moves, it's important that you can put them together instead of making it look choppy or trying to figure it out on your own, which is what it's like going through YouTube. You look at moves and not everyone knows how to put it together. It's almost like knowing bits and pieces of a language. It's not really sexy if you know only one or two random words. If I say hola and then si, it's not really effective in terms of the language, which is why I'm giving you guys a routine to work with. It's almost like using a basic sentence that you can use in any situation. But the thing is, it's like almost like a one-trick pony because you can only do it once, and then you can't really use it again because people have already seen it. So next slide. Okay, so here's the moves. Let me type it in. It's emery.com/webinar moves, but don't go just yet because there's like a million things I'm going to teach you guys and what you can do with these moves. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to be teaching is the 9 tips to improve faster than any other newbie. Okay, so first is figure out the 80-20. And if you don't know what the 80-20 principle is, it's figuring out the 20% of moves specifically for dancing right now that will give you 80% of the result. Okay, so when I was developing this, the question was, what are the most complex looking moves yet are easy enough to learn, which is why I give you those basic 6 moves. And again, which led me to another question: what are the most commonly used moves by breakdancers of every level? And that's what led me to again further helped me pick the best 6 moves to teach you guys what I just showed you guys. And when it comes to practicing and time to start learning and training, I suggest you pick 1 to 3 moves at a time. Okay, I know there's a temptation to try to do everything all at once, but my suggestion is that you take it 1 step at a time. There's no need to overwhelm yourself. This is not a race. This is a marathon. So the last thing I want you guys to do is look terrible with a million moves. I'd much rather have you guys look good with 1 or 2 moves. Third is eliminate distractions. Just like how I asked you guys to close all your tabs, put your cell phones on vibrate. You want to be able to have strong focus in what you're working on. That way you're mentally engaged and physically engaged. If one or the other is lacking when you're practicing, you're most likely not going to have the type of progress you would like. Next is having a specific space to practice. Just like how there's a doctor's office for us to go to or a gym for us to work out in, we need to find a specific place for us to practice that really helps set the tone and helps give us the mindset that we're about to put in the work, we're about to improve ourselves as a dancer and really help build our confidence. For me, there's a gym just down the street, so that's my space. It used to be a park a couple blocks from here. So find a space for you guys to practice at. 5 is have a game plan on what you're going to practice. I gave you guys 6 moves, and I just suggested you guys picking 1 to 3 moves at a time. That helps eliminate it. So my suggestion for you guys for your first 3 moves is the kick and twist, salsa rock, and the W. Work on those 3 moves first. That's your first game plan. I strongly suggest. Next is create a frequency. How often are you going to practice? Once a week, every day, twice a day, 3 times a week? It's up to you. Okay. What I've learned as a dancer, a dad, and as also a health coach is that creators of success, are masters of consistency. So as long as you're consistent with your practicing and training, you're going to get the result. But as you know, with everything, the more time you put in it, the more progress you'll make. Next, have an end date or performance date to perform in front of an audience. Okay, so the last thing I want you guys, one of the many last things I wouldn't want you guys to do is just practicing for no reason. As much as I would love that, to really have that passion for it, ultimately you want to test your skills. You want to see how good you really are. That's where the masters or the people who really improve really grow, because you're putting yourself in a pressure situation where you have to rely on your instinct. When you're in a practice space, it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to just go through the motions. But when you're in an actual performance setting, whether it be in front of friends, on YouTube, or an actual like 200 people audience, you have the choice of either stepping up or looking like a fool. Either way, it's going to be valuable feedback for you when you practice. So in order to make your practices effective and your performances effective, measure your results. So if you perform, film it. If you're practicing, film it. Okay. When it comes to dancing, you can't exactly measure analytics and numbers, but what you can do is film and compare to your previous performance or your previous practice, and see what you can improve on and what you did well in. Okay, so step 9 is take the feedback and start again. So take that footage, take whatever you need to improve on, go back to the beginning and work. Go back to your practice space and practice those things that you want to improve on or you would like to change. Okay, so those are the 9 tips to improve faster. It's a mouthful. Hope you guys took notes on that. I don't really remember exactly what I said, but this is the same exact process that I teach all my students. This is the same exact process I do for myself. My training days are Monday and Wednesday nights. So it's just for breaking by itself. So yeah, next up, moving on to the 3-phase progression cycle. So a lot of this is tying into one another. The 3-phase progression cycle is applying all those 9 tips, okay, and putting it into a cycle where you're consistently improving, not just as a newbie, but as an intermediate dancer, an advanced dancer. Okay, this cycle is going to help you improve no matter what level you're in. So if it's the move, groove, grow. Okay, 3-phase progression cycle. So let's get right onto it. Move is where you move out of your comfort zone and start learning something. This is for those of you who are, and it doesn't matter if you are a newbie or someone who's a little bit more advanced. You just get out of what you already know or don't know and start learning something. I taught you guys, for the newbies, I already taught you guys the basics of the dance, the 5 foundational elements. Okay, the basic moves that most dancers use. essentially I want you to focus on the mechanics here, which is just focusing on the technique. No need, you're not in performance mode, you're just learning the basics. Next is groove. Find your groove through experimentation. So you start exploring how you can move throughout the dance by doing a routine, using the freestyle formula, which I'm going to explain to you guys in just a sec. Okay, call out exercises, which is like the game Simon Says, but you have someone else just calling out the moves for you, and you just do it. It's a great introduction to freestyling. Your goal here is to explore in between the moves and understand the flow of how to put things together. Okay, grow is by consistently putting yourself out there. Okay, it can be going to a YouTube session, a b-boy session, and those of you who don't know what a b-boy session is, it's pretty much an open practice space. Putting your video up on YouTube, which is a low pressure way of putting yourself out there, performing in front of friends or an audience, or privately doing it at a grocery store aisle. This is it's a bit more of a medium pressure audience, because there are going to be people there, but no one's really actively watching you. What I did with one of my clients is we just went to a park where no one was going to watch him, but the fact that we were outside where people could possibly watch him freaked him out. And that's exactly what I want for you guys when you start putting yourself out there. This is the area where this phase in general is where you are going to start building your confidence. Confidence is built through small victories, but those small victories can't be achieved if you're not willing to be at least a little vulnerable and then breaking through it. So just like Neo in the Matrix back in 2000s, even though he was the chosen one, he didn't make that first jump from one building to the other. Okay. Point being is that give yourself permission to suck. If you are a beginner, if you are a little bit more advanced and looking to improve your skills, just give yourself the permission to suck, because I'm not expecting you guys to be perfect immediately. I'm expecting you guys to give the most effort that you can to improve. So, and from there you repeat. Okay, from move, learning the basics, groove, explore and experiment, grow, to go to the slide, cleaning up your moves. Oh, look at that. So going back, you learn the basics, explore and experiment on your own. Perform and get feedback. Your performance or putting yourself out there is where you're gonna get the valuable feedback to go back to the move phase where you clean up your dance moves. Okay. So now let's move on to the bonus lesson. I hope I'm making sense for those of you guys so far. If not, feel free to ask me questions at the end. I know I saw some questions popping up already. I'm going to be getting to that at the end. So I'm not trying to ignore you guys. I'm just trying to stay focused on the content I'm giving you guys. So I'm going to give you guys some time to ask questions towards the end. Cool. So I'm going to grab another sip of water before we get on to the bonus lesson. So you guys are good, and you guys understand this so far? Yeah? Good, yes, love it, awesome. All right, sweet. So let's move on to the bonus lesson, how to create a freestyle using any YouTube video. Okay, so one of the things I teach you in my in how to break dance for beginners and in my live class, if you happen to be in SoCal, is the beginner's freestyle formula, which is 2 top rocks, 1 transition move, 2 footwork patterns, and a freeze, which is essentially what I just gave you with the 6 moves. Okay, or it doesn't necessarily have to be this way. It can be 2 top rocks, transition, 2 footwork patterns, a power move like a head spin if you have one, and a freeze. Okay, so essentially I just gave you everything to start off. Kick and twist, salsa rock, the W, CCs, 6-step pilot freeze. And putting these moves together can be a little bit confusing at first, because for a newbie standpoint, these are all random items that don't seem to make sense. But those who have experience a teacher like myself can show you how to put it all together, which is one of the reasons I gave you guys a routine. So as you can see, how each element is broken down. Okay, so I completely lost my train of thought right now. Oh, so one of the reasons I give you this routine is to help give you guys some guidance in putting all these moves together so it makes sense. So it's not just a random batch of moves, okay? And once you're comfortable, I want you to start creating. I want you to start creating your own combinations, so you're not just limited to a routine. You don't want to be a one-trick pony and then that's it. Okay, so you can go from the basic freestyle formula, okay, to this one top rock, transition, one footwork, and freeze. Okay, still the same moves, just looks a little different to something a little bit more complex. Okay, to this, starting off with the pilot freeze, going to your CC, going to your kick and twist, going to the salsa rock, going to the W, 6-step, and then to the pilot freeze. Okay, you can create it as simple or as complex as you want it to be. Okay, and all of this is just using the most commonly used dance moves by every breakdancer, and I gave you that through the 6 basic moves. It's not the amount of moves you have; it's what you can do with them. Okay, Bruce Lee once said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." Okay, so say now you've outgrown these 6 basic moves that I've given you guys, and you want to start expanding on the freestyle formula by using YouTube. So I love YouTube. I do some learning from there myself too. So for example, you want to expand on your top rocks. Excuse me. So there's like a million examples. So kick, side step. I think this is a salsa rock. Some people, excuse me. Bear in mind, a lot of these moves I teach you guys have multiple different names. And some of them I'm still learning about today. So I might be calling a move differently from how other people call moves. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so Indian step, roughneck attack tutorial. So never heard of that, but I'm going to probably be checking that out after this training. Next is go downs. Again, you can see my go down there. Shuffle kick go down by the legendary Po One. G style footwork go down. So there's a lot of tutorials you can go out that you can see out there in terms of learning for free online and using the freestyle formula that I just taught you guys. So from here, freezes, pilot freeze, baby freeze, air freeze. So let's put it all together based off the searches that we just did. Indian step and kick side step, the knee drop, okay, 6-step and shuffle lock. That's one of the searches I found, and the baby freeze. And I just created my own simple combination of moves just using YouTube. And I would then, again, if you were taking notes, pick 1 or 2 moves at a time. I'll probably start off with the Indian step drill and the kick side step tutorial if I was just starting off, and just start practicing from there. And unlike the training I gave you guys today, these random moves don't exactly have a routine that shows you how to smoothly put everything together. So in a sense, you guys have an advantage today that because you have a routine demonstrating you how to flow everything into one cohesive routine. So again, a million different variations. So the whole point of today's workshop is one, get you an idea of how to start breakdancing, give you guys some moves to start off with, and for you guys to get an idea in where to start building your confidence as a dancer. Okay, so some kick butt students. Jay, he's a 39-year-old CEO of a game company. He had 4 weeks to get ready for a wedding. He was going to perform in front of 200 people, but this is a guy going from 0 experience in dancing and performing to having to perform in front of 200 people. To me, that's like handing me a basketball and say, go play in the NBA. Okay, I have no experience, and I would just completely freeze and probably make a complete fool of myself. And I didn't want that for him. So here's what we did. We started off with the same basic moves I taught you guys, simple and complex looking. Then we dumped what looked bad on him and built on what looked good. So keep in mind, if there are some moves that you don't like, you don't have to keep it. Okay, you can just learn something else. Look it up online. Okay, so from there, we added a few more moves that complemented his style. Everyone has a different way of dancing. We added a couple more moves that best complemented that. And with How to Breakdance for Beginners, you get a massive 60 plus library of moves, so you can be crazy creative and you can save yourself a whole bunch of time of having to look on YouTube. Okay, so from there we created two sets or a combination of moves using the freestyle formula. Reason being is that I would rather have him going on stage to perform with something prepared versus nothing at all, because if he hasn't had the same amount of experience as me in terms of just throwing a freestyle together. While we did do a lot of freestyle exercises, I'd much rather have him be a little bit more prepared with those two combinations. From there, we progressively built his confidence by using low pressure audiences to high pressure audiences. So we performed in front of Periscope first, then we performed at the park, then we performed in front of a few friends, then a few more friends, and eventually we led to a bigger audience. And you can do that same exact process as well. If you want to put yourself out there but don't want to look like a fool immediately, just put your video up on YouTube, and there may be trolls out there, but from my standpoint, the trolls and haters out there, more often than not, are doing nothing better than their lives and putting others down. Okay, so, and if you do that, make sure you message me and I would love to check it out. Here's Julian, former student of mine who wanted to learn how to break dance so he could book a commercial. Okay, so what we did is train for 7 sessions. We focused on the basic moves I taught you guys, taught him routines to understand flow and movement, and added moves that would best complement his style. And then we created 2 to 3 combinations to show off the judges. The result was that he landed the commercial. And yeah, is him right here for a Target commercial. This was, I think, a couple years ago. And he's still kicking butt. He's now dancing with, I forgot which talent agency he is, but he's grown a long way. Next is my fiance, Stephanie. When we first started dating, we wanted to do something together. So we decided to enter a battle. The problem is she had no experience, and we only had literally less than 2 days to get ready. So we decided to dedicate those 2 nights of training to improve. So what we did was we implemented the formula and practice methods I teach in the course and the stuff I taught you guys here. So here's exactly what we did. 1 hour of focusing on foundation. Okay, this is pretty much focusing on the same basic moves, 6 basic moves I just taught you guys. 1 hour on creating combinations using the freestyle formula. 1 hour on freestyling, because if she runs out of the combinations, she's got to be able to freestyle. 1 hour on commandos and routines. This is a much more advanced concept because this involves battling, but commandos and routines is pretty much, in a nutshell, showing how united you guys are as a crew, which adds a lot of bonus points when it comes to the battle. Okay, I won't go too much into it right now because it's a lot more to it than that. But the result was we became champions. What we completely weren't expecting that. I wish we had pictures that day, but I managed to dig up some footage of her freestyling. And I want to impress upon you that you don't need a lot of moves. Like I said earlier, a lot of moves to look good. It's just practicing and making what you got look good. Okay, so here's some of the pictures. Like I said, we weren't expecting to win, but hey, we won. So here's Peyton. This kid is literally the main reason this course started. Okay, this little kid right here. She's like a niece to me now. We didn't have a whole lot of time of private coaching because of her rehearsal schedule. But what I did do is create videos she can practice at home, and we Skyped so I can give her feedback. So what we did is focus on the same exact moves that I gave you guys, eliminated what made her look awkward, added on a little bit more that complemented her dancing style, Then we created two basic combinations using the freestyle formula to show off to the judges. Are you guys starting to see the pattern here? Okay, so the result, she killed the audition. She got to compete at Hip Hop International and even go compete at Worlds. Andrew, 20-year-old physical therapist, took class a few times, learned the same exact moves I taught you guys today, and he loved the freestyle part so much that it gave him the confidence to just go out and dance at a wedding, which is essentially the goal for every single dancer, is just to put yourself out there in a performance setting, in an audience setting, or just out there, just putting yourself out there and having fun and not having to worry about what you look like if you're being judged or not. I just want you guys to have fun and put yourself out there. Okay, so those of you who are feel like you're too old, Leonard is a 32-year-old photographer, loves to go to the gym, Zumba, long walks at the beach, and breaking. Okay, he turned to breaking as an alternative way of getting fit and staying in shape. Sorry, I just hit my microphone. And last I talked to him, he just burned 800 calories just doing breakdancing. He's not aspiring to be the world's best b-boy. He's not aspiring to impress anyone or do a performance. He just wants to use it as a way of being fit. And if you look at it, since I consider b-boying or breakdancing one of the most athletic dances in the world because you're involving so many muscle groups, why not? And Jay, I just shared his story, 39-year-old video game artist, needed time 4 to 5 weeks to get ready, killed it, and last he told me probably one of the best times of his life, because he surprised so many of his friends and family because they didn't even think he could do that because of how old he is. Okay, so and then here's a picture of a random granny that I found. She's not one of my students. I haven't had the opportunity of working with any students that are past 50, but I would love to. But my point here is that you're never too old to learn how to do this. Okay, there are going to be certain limitations because of your age, and depends on where you are in terms of of your strength. But what I do in the courses in How to Break Dance for Beginners is I give you guys basic strength exercises so it prevents injury. Okay, so other tips and reminders: take it one step at a time. Don't try to do everything all at once. Keep it simple. Next is get in front of others. This is where you really get better. Until you put yourself in a pressure situation where you're in front of people, you don't really have a full understanding of the move. Being in a practice setting, you're playing it safe. But when you put yourself out there, take risks, that's where the living, so to speak, happens. That's where you really grow. Okay, so remember, nothing I've shared with you guys is theory or something that might work. This is the same method I've used for hundreds of students in building their confidence and becoming essentially rulers of their own dance floors. Okay, this is the same exact method that I've done for myself in helping me kick butt on performances and local battles. And it doesn't matter if you have experience, no experience, young or old. It's all about taking baby steps. It's all about small wins leading to the big victories. So now the question is, where do you go from here? How do you apply everything you've learned today? I gave you guys a lot. I gave you guys 5 fundamental elements of breaking. I gave you guys 6 moves to practice, a routine to put together that helps you put it together. I taught you guys the 3-phase progression cycle, 9 tips to improve faster than a newbie. So it's a lot. So I hope you guys took notes, and I hope you guys can implement at least one thing. But applying everything you've learned today, you have a choice. You can do it slow, look for all the moves on YouTube, and apply what I've taught. You can even go into workshops, going to classes, or you can do it quickly using the 7 modules I have in my How to Break Dance for Beginners course, which is what I've kind of been sprinkling throughout the training, if you haven't noticed. So you're going from zero to B-Boy Hero. It's a complete step-by-step system in teaching you how to break dance. It's designed to take you through simple steps in building your dance floor confidence. The fastest way to get you from point A to point Z in 0 to 60 seconds. Not really. But you do have to. It is the fastest way compared to anything I've seen out there. So here's what you're going to get: 7 online training modules teaching you how to dance and build your confidence. 60. It's a 60 plus mean because there's still being moves moves and tutorials added. It's a massive library of tools, tutorials and exercises for your creativity. And don't worry if 60 plus videos sounds intimidating, because I gave you guys cheat sheets and PDFs to make sure you're on track with everything. So every section, you refer to your cheat sheet. So to make sure you do this first, you do the next action item first, to make sure to keep it simple and to give you guys direction. I'm going to give you guys music to practice too, because breakdancing, you can't really do it to R&B, or you can, but in terms of training at first and really getting the groove, I'm going to give you guys basic break beats to work with, exercises to help get you better at dancing, accountability and support from me. So my job is to make sure you guys are on track, and if you guys have any questions, I'm going to be there. Put in the community, just drop a question. If more than likely someone in the community will answer it before me. If not, I'll answer it myself. Okay, unlimited access to the material, even the new ones. And let's give you a quick preview of it. So module 1, I told you guys there were 7 modules. Let's take a quick look. Okay, first off, we start off with the basics, or the jump start. You'll be learning how to not look stiff when you're dancing. A lot of people, when they start learning how to dance, they look like a dancing lamppost, and that's the last thing I want you guys to look like. So it's going to help you prevent you from looking like a complete newbie. You'll also be learning moves to help you warm up and strengthen the body to help prevent injuries. So I strongly recommend that you do not skip this module. It's going to help set everything up. Next up is the 2-week beginner's guide. This is my recommendation for where any beginner would start. It's giving you daily step-by-step moves to practice and routines to show off to your friends, so you, one, learn how to put these moves together, and two, well, show off to your friends. I just said that. So, like I said, learning your routine is going to be extremely important when you start learning how to freestyle. So, module 3, top rocks. A lot of people are hesitant because after the 2-week beginner's guide, you essentially need to start learning how to freestyle on your own. The 2-week beginner's guide is meant to give you an idea of where to start, how to put moves together, and moving on from there, it's time for you to start creating your own style or set of moves. Okay, and a lot of people are hesitant to start, so top rocks are a perfect place to start, because you're not on the floor using any strength yet. You're just dancing on your 2 top feet. So you're learning a simple 7 top rock patterns that you can put together. Okay, next up is get downs, which help you continue to flow between your moves and help you look less awkward. Right now there's only 4 transitions, but there are a million more on the way. Not a million, not literally, but there are more on the way. Showing off your fancy footwork. This is the most unique part of breakdancing. There's no other dance in the world that's on the floor as much as breakdancing. You'll be learning 15 different patterns you can use to mix and match in your freestyle, and 2 routines that give you guideline in putting things together. This is going to make you look badass on the dance floor if you can show that you have control of your body while you're moving. That makes sense? Made sense in my head. So next up is showing control of your dancing and the music through freezes. Okay, so freezes can be intimidating because it requires a different kind of strength versus power moves. Here I'll be showing you guys the 5 basic freezes that are a gateway to a lot more advanced freezes. Okay, and I'll be showing you how to progress into each one. Next up is wowing the crowd with power. This is what put breaking on the map. The head spins, the windmills, the flares. Okay, it's the athleticism. You're going to be learning the basic power moves from windmill swipes to flares, and it's perfect for that wow factor. And if you are looking to really add that little pizzazz when it comes to your breaking, I suggest learning 1 or 2. You don't need to have a whole bunch, especially if you're not aiming to be one of those battle b-boys. But it's really, if you really want to wow the crowd for like a talent show or for, say, a family function, highly recommend you get learning at least 1. Quick disclaimer though, these moves do take a while to learn, so be patient. So here's a quick overview of how you would approach it. Okay, so phase 1, the move phase, learn the rules, practice the technique. to a beginner's guide. Then from there, you handpick the moves you want to learn, and then from there, you use the practice exercises and the technique exercise that I give you. From there, you move to phase 2 groove, experiment, and create your own style. You take those moves you just practiced and put it together in a freestyle formula, so you have an idea of how you want to express yourself through the dance, and practice current moves and your current combination for a minimum of 20 hours. Okay, there's a whole myth of having to practice for at least 10,000 hours to become a grandmaster, but I highly doubt that you want to become a grandmaster and you just want to be able to learn this for the fun of it. So minimum of 20 hours. I've seen it time and again for a lot of my students, both in my hip hop class and my breakdancing class. For those who've shown up for the minimum of 20 hours, they are killing it. Okay, especially this one kid who's like younger than everyone else, and he's like a shy little kid. Man, he is a beast when he's freestyling. Okay, so next up, phase 3, grow. So this is where you put yourself out there and rule the dance floor. So you can either do this by going through low pressure situations by uploading your video on YouTube or to the community, or you can go all out and just perform in a public setting where everyone can see you. Okay, there's going to be multiple options for you on depending on your comfort level. You can either choose low pressure to high pressure. It's up to you. The whole point is that you're consistently putting yourself out there. And if you have questions, concerns, or you need feedback, me and the other students of How to Break Dance for Beginners will be there to support you every step of the way. You're not alone in this. Okay, so how much is this going to cost you? Well, you can figure it out on your own, going to a dance studio. Say you could take 30 classes. Here in the States, the average is at least $15 a class, and that leads up to about $450. You can hire a private instructor. It's about $100 with me. Excuse me. It's about $400 for 4 weeks. That's one session a week. Or you can learn on YouTube. I just showed you guys how to do that. It's free, but there's no clear-cut direction on how to go and how you can flow in and out of each move. So, the course isn't going to cost you $600. It's not going to cost you $400. Okay, everything for this on this webinar, the whole system, is going to be only $99. Meaning that you can get started today just for $99. That's 10 years worth of knowledge. That's equivalent to some as a PhD. Okay, PhD in breakdancing, if that was possible. 6 years worth of teaching. Yes, you get access to the whole thing. And before I get into a little bit more, I'm going to hook you guys up with some bonuses for those of you who are on the webinar or on the training today. So, advanced training. So, I'm going to be teaching you guys 3 advanced routines incorporating everything you've learned. This goes a little bit beyond the 5 fundamental elements, where I push it towards the 7. Okay, concepts that improve your creativity. So trust me, even if you just have 3 or 4 moves down, if you can at least apply one concept in your dance, you'll kill it. Trust me on that. Okay, call out exercises. So this is like Simon Says for breaking, but you get music tracks where I call out certain moves and you just do it. This is going to help you introduce you to freestyling, because when you start freestyling, subconsciously your brain is telling you what to do and you do it. With call out exercises, it's just me naming a move and you just do it. Similar, but just a little bit more slowed down. Because when you start dancing and it's all you, your mind's going to be racing. And the whole point of call out exercises is to slow your thinking and slow your thought process down so your body can be more in line with your thinking. Next up is the private Facebook group. So accountability, making sure you get your stuff done, and support to show that you're not alone in this. I love Facebook. Okay, it's how I promoted the live training and how I connect with my students like you guys. This Facebook group is exclusively meant for only you and my live students. So I'm pretty active in there and answering questions and giving you guys feedback. And I believe that you guys are the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So why do this alone? Let's do it together. And a 30-day money-back guarantee. I know some of you guys are a little hesitant about this because I'm learning dancing online. I barely know you. Or how do I know it's the quality that I want? Okay, I believe so strongly in this course. You can try the course, put in the work. And if you don't like the progress or the results that you're creating, you can just shoot me a message and I'll give you your money back. No hassle, no fuss, within the first 30 days. Okay, I strongly believe that you will love this course. So quick recap. The 7 modules that you're going to be getting, from basics, the beginner's guide, top rocks, get downs, footwork, freezes, power, a 60+ video library for your own creativity, a total of 8 routines showing you how to put it all together, cheat sheets and PDFs to help keep you on track, music and exercises to practice to, unlimited access to all the material, even the new ones. Okay, lifetime access, 30-day money back guarantee, and the beauty of it is that, say something comes up and you have to stop, you can stop where you're at. 2-3 months later, you can pick it up again. So that's the beauty of it. There are some courses out there that makes you pay a monthly subscription. This is just a one-time thing and you're set up. So what's next? So you can do the full price of the course normally is $299, but today, right now, not right now, today for a short time, it's one-time payment of $99. Okay, and prices will go up Friday, November 27th. Okay, it's gonna go from $99 to its full price, $299. So highly suggest that you guys take action. And what I've learned from is most of the people who create results are the ones who take massive action. Okay, so here's the link to it. I'm typing into the chat box right now so you guys can get access to it. Okay, so here's what's going to happen when you head on over to the page. It's going to be taking you to this awesome overview of the course. You scroll down to the Enroll Now area. Again, it's going to give you a quick overview of everything you're going to get. You click on the Enroll Now button. It's going to take you to the Udemy enrollment page. Click on the green button. You're going to need to sign up if you don't have a Udemy account. From there, just input your credit card, and you will be taken into the student page. Okay, so it all starts with taking action. So you can either figure it out on your own, doing YouTube workshops, classes, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do all of those. Or you can learn from my 7-module course in how to break dance for beginners. Okay, so it's up to you and how fast and effective you want to get it, or how slow and sort of you sifting through all the information on your own. Okay, imagine no longer being shy to dance in public. Imagine breaking through that thought that you have no rhythm. And I've worked with plenty of people who seemed ridiculously hopeless when it came to breaking, when it came to dancing, but later on they eventually become my peers in who I dance and work with. Okay, and it all depends on how quickly you want the results. Okay, so what I've learned is that people who take immediate action are the ones who always, more often than not, are the ones that create the results. So here's a quick overview of everything. Full price is $299. Price today until Friday, November 27th, is only for $99. I'm going to take a quick 10 minutes to answer some questions and take a sip of water again. So questions. Anyone out there? Okay. Oh, there we go. So, do I have to be physically strong to do this? You don't have to be physically strong at all. I've worked with students who are way more muscular than me, but even they had a hard time holding themselves up when it came to their freezes. While on the other hand, I've worked with kids who were practically the size of a twig, and they were able to do freezes just fine. It's not a matter of physical strength. It's a matter of putting the system to work and being patient with yourself. And what I don't recommend is being reckless with the moves and throwing your weight around. That's a fast track to injury. I cover I cover how to warm up and strengthen your body in a couple earlier videos. How much time should I put into this? So if you want to go through all the content, do the exercises and whatnot, I'd set about 2 to 3 hours a week. It's really up to you on how much time you should put, depending on your schedule. However, if you're serious about trying to implement everything I teach you guys, so you really build the confidence, so you can really become the best dancer you can be, like I said, it's going to require a little bit more time. Okay, I would recommend bumping up the 2 to 3 hours to 5 to 6. Okay, the way I structured how to breakdance for beginners, so you can instantly go into any situation and freestyle and dance with no hesitation. Okay, and like I said, as most of you guys know, the more time you put in, the better you'll get. So my recommendation, if you're crazy busy, 2 to 3 hours a week. If you have a lot of time, 5 to 6, or even 7 if you have that much time. This is hours a week. Will the course get me to dance well enough to make my own moves as well as teach others? Yes, I covered that through the freestyle formula. Eventually you will be guided to create your own combinations and sets. And as regards to teaching others, I can't really say because it depends on how you teach and interact with your students. But as my favorite b-boy and teacher would say, each one teach ones. I aim to be as detailed as possible with every tutorial and every routine, to the point where my goal is that you can teach others. So if you can teach someone else what you learned, then it really shows how well you've grasped the material. Do I need to have rhythm? No, you don't. You don't need to. You don't even need talent to get started. You just need the willingness to get started and put in the work. Okay, you're going to be getting detailed videos on how to help you move and groove on your own, so you start beginning to look natural at it. Like, I'm going to be honest. If you don't have the natural rhythm, you're going to look a little awkward at first, but if you do some of the training videos I do teach you, you're going to get better. It's going to start becoming more natural. Is there an age limit? I'd say the youngest for this to start is 6. Any younger than that, I've found that they don't have the coordination just yet that's needed for this dance. But I have been proven wrong before. I've worked with students between the ages of 6 to 40 who want to learn how to break dance. Like I said, I would love to be able to work with people 50 plus. But I think personally, it just comes down to how passionate you are in becoming the best dancer you can be, and and whatever goal it is that you have in mind. If you want it bad enough, then the system will help you get started at any age. Let's see. Question? Anything else? Anything else? Before I go, is the training live if I can make it to the sessions? The good thing is the training is not live. All the material on how to breakdance for beginners is pre-recorded, so that means you can watch them and watch the videos and review them at your own time. You don't need to show up at any specific time like today's training. How long does it take to go through the material? That's really honestly up to you. I understand life happens and we get busy. So one of the benefits of the course is you have the ability to start and stop whenever you want, 24/7. So if I don't know, you're in the middle of, I don't know, giving birth, or you're on maternity leave or paternity leave, or you're in the middle of finals or midterms or whatever circumstances you're facing, you can stop the training once you're done. Okay, you can 2-3 weeks or even a month later, you can just pick it back up from where you left off. Will I be learning power moves like windmills and flares? Yes, I covered that a little earlier. You're going to be learning power moves. And again, I give you a quick disclaimer. It's going to take a lot more time and effort in learning one power move versus learning how to put together 6 dope combinations and create a freestyle. It may actually take you an entire 30 days to even 2 months just to learn how to windmill or flare. And within that time, you could have created 4 different freestyle combos. And I'm not saying you can't or can do that, but the reality is power moves require a little bit more athleticism, coordination, and patience. And honestly, my goal for this class is to help you become really good dancers. And a power move is just a move. Um, while you do get to learn how to flow in and out of those power moves. If you guys would just want to learn a move, just a one singular move like windmill, you can just look up on YouTube and save yourself the money. But if you want to learn how to dance using those moves, then the course is the way to go. Anything else? Anything else? Are you guys good? Yes, yeah. Did you guys like today's stuff? I felt like I rushed a little bit on some parts. You guys liked it? Yes, loved it. Yeah, it's the last training of the year. Unfortunately, I'm going to be taking a break from the end of November till next year, so I'm not going to be doing any trainings. My goal next year is to do at least one of these types of trainings a month. Really gives me an opportunity to communicate with you guys and give you some awesome stuff to learn, and hopefully give you guys something to implement or apply outside of this. So, are there any questions before I go? I'm about to go have dinner with the familia. No, there's no more questions. You're all good? Yeah, good. Okay, so that's it for today. So here's the link, emery.com/H2B. It's going to be taking you guys to the course to enroll. Other than that, make sure you guys apply one thing that you learned today from today's webinar. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, implement something that you guys learned. And yeah, last training of the year. Little hard to believe, but yeah, I will catch you guys sometime in 2016. Those of you guys who are on the mailing list, you guys will get the early heads up on when I start training again. Other than that, have an amazing rest of the day, evening, or morning, wherever you guys are in the world, and I will catch you guys later.